Hi, it's Jonathan Schrager here. I'm here with Team Fury head trainer Peter Fury. How are we doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you today. It's a lovely day as well.
It is, isn't it? We've got to make the most when we get nice weather in the north, haven't we?
Yes, exactly.
So obviously we've just seen the opening of the official Team Fury gym here in Bolton.
Yeah.
You must be very excited about it.
I'm very excited. There's been a lot of hard work put into the gym. We've had a lot of help from the local community, especially the Muslim community, Asian communities. Has been very, very helpful to us here, and it's a pleasure to be here. We get a lot of help also from David Lloyd, UK Bolton. We've had a lot of assistance from them as well.
Yeah.
So just fantastic, really, from the local community. So very happy. And although this is like a Team Fury headquarters gym,
Yeah.
and this is our main base of training, you'll notice it's called Platinum Community Centre.
Yeah.
Because it is for the young kids coming through as well.
Right.
So the days we just switch our times. So the times we're not training, the young kids can come in,
Yeah.
practice their amateur boxing. You know, we've got proper ABA coaches here.
Yeah.
So it's it's a fabulous setup for
Right.
young kids to get them off the street as well.
Yeah. Lovely. And obviously, you know, around the corner we've got Amir's gym and Joe trains there with all his stable of fighters. Is it fair to say Bolton is fast becoming possibly the Mecca of British boxing in terms of gyms?
But, you know, you have to say, you know, you've got, like you just mentioned, you've got Joe Gallagher around the corner, he's literally half a mile away. And we spar with our lads, with Joe Gallagher's lads, regular. And, you know, he's a prime example. He's got a fine stable of fighters. You know, full credit to him. He does exceptionally well, and you know he's got his first world champion as well, in Scott Quigg.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely fabulous. So it's fast becoming the name in boxing, I think, in Bolton.
Absolutely, yeah. And can I just ask, obviously, you know, why specifically Bolton? Because I know Tyson is a Manchester lad originally. Why not Manchester, Broughton, Salford? You know, why Bolton? Was it just the obvious choice in the end? Was it?
Well, I've got a lot of personal friends up here.
Yeah.
And you know, they've been family friends of mine for years. And you know, and the help and the genuineness of the people, you know, has caused us to come up here.
Yeah.
And plus the area, there is some like run-down areas of Bolton as well. So it's nice to get in an area which is pretty run down and get the young kids off the street and let them do things as well.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't have to be. For me, it's not about being a celebrity and moving up market. It's about going back to your roots, you know. And you know, these young kids are no different to the way we was brought up. Really, you know, we brought up from impoverished families. So it's nice to come back to the area, put something back into it, and say, look, if these can achieve it, so can you.
Yeah.
Plus, we've got excellent facilities here.
Absolutely.
We've got the best of help, and everything's on hand. You know, it's not me to take credit for the gym.
Yeah.
Because like I said in there, I'm training the fighters all the time. It's a team around us that's been doing it 24/7. So they've worked tirelessly to get this ready for the opening day.
Yeah.
So it's fabulous. Everything about it is perfect for exactly what we need.
Absolutely, I can testify to that. I've been had a look around. It's a lovely,
Sure.
lovely facility. I was going to ask you, obviously, moving on to the boxing. I'm hoping to grab a quick word with Tyson in a bit, but I've had a good chat with Fast Eddie Chambers, who's a big character, isn't he? He's great fun to interview, but also a very competent boxer, shall we say, as well. Obviously, had his outing on Box Nation a few weeks ago, looked impressive.
Yeah.
I spoke to him about it before. What's the next step for him? He mentioned potentially, obviously, being on the undercard of Tyson versus Derek.
Yeah, he's on that undercard. He's out again this Saturday in Leeds.
Yeah.
And we're looking to basically, we're just ticking him over at the moment, waiting to land a big opponent for him.
Yeah.
To put him right back in the top 10 mix.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. I'm going to sit down. With other promoters this week.
Yeah.
And see what we can establish to get Eddie a good fight.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, we're just going to keep him busy. This will be his third fight this week, which he's over the moon with. He likes to keep busy.
Yeah.
And Eddie Chambers is in fabulous condition.
Yeah.
He's come on leaps and bounds in
Yeah.
a short space of time. So he is an elite fighter. I believe he's a world-class fighter.
Yeah.
And he'll definitely get another shot at it.
And yeah, I mean, it's quite a sort of curious backstory about how he's sort of become part of the Fiore family as such, as you mentioned before. He's become family. You employed him as a sparring partner for Tyson in the build-up to the Hay fight, and ever since then, really, it's kind of just developed, hasn't it, the relationship?
It has. It's all about that trust in people. It's how can I say? When I speak to people, I don't falsify things. I'm straight with people.
Yeah.
If I say I'm going to help you, I'm going to try and help you and do the best I can. And that come across with Eddie and myself.
Yeah.
And we've just gone on like an house on fire, because it's not just me. Eddie Chambers is a gentleman. He's a really, really nice fella. Anybody would get on with Eddie, and he's a pleasure to have around the gym.
Yeah.
Because of his, and to me, I'm a boxing, I'm not only in boxing, but I'm a boxing historian as well. I can take you back hundreds of years to the fighters. I'm a boxing fanatic.
Yeah.
When it comes to boxing, you have to be to do this job.
Yeah.
But the thing is, what's amazing about Eddie Chambers, he's such a humble, nice fellow, and you just think to yourself, is this guy a boxer? Yeah. Am I seeing things? But when them gloves lace on and he gets in that ring, this is what I mean. Boxing on a high level is a science.
Yeah.
And he brings that out. He gives you a stark reminder of what real world-class boxing is about. Yeah. It ain't a strongman competition.
Yeah.
It's not a brawler. It's about brains, intelligence, and using that skill.
Yeah.
I.e. Mayweather. Prime example.
Yeah.
So, Eddie Chambers is an old school fighter which goes back to these qualities and skills.
Yeah.
So, full respect to him. I'm just here bringing him back to his best.
Yeah.
He's had all the tools before, he's never implemented them because he's always had something missing.
Yeah.
Now, he's running on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So, let's see what he's like. And he's in fantastic shape.
Yeah.
He's fit enough to play with 12 rounds. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And although I'm happy with Eddie Chambers, I'm still working on new things as well with him.
And I was going to say, as a kind of the head trainer, and you've got two world-class heavyweights at your disposal, really. How do you? Obviously, both will be on their own individual paths. How do you kind of tailor that path to obviously, ideally for you as a trainer, you would prefer they avoid each other in the sense of, unless there was a massive money fight involved. But in terms of getting towards two world titles, is it a challenge to kind of tread that path?
Yeah, it's a challenge, and I want the best, not only my own family, but I want the best for other boxers as well. Because look, we're all human beings. We all deserve respect. And if I can help another fighter, I put my heart and soul into it anyway. If I wasn't going to put my heart and soul into somebody, I wouldn't train him. So basically, I've got respect for all boxers, fighters.
Yeah.
So the lovely people to be around are a special kind of person, a fighter. So it's a pleasure for me to train him.
Yeah.
So I said to Eddie, if I can get you back in the glory days, if I can get you big fights, get you a world title. Whether you win it or not, it's another matter. Whether Tyson wins or not, nobody can say you're going to be a world champion. Only elite people get to win world titles. But if that day comes, there's one thing for sure. Eddie Chambers has come over here, he's met myself, he's joined the team, and if I can get him right back up there, as Eddie will go down as a great heavyweight, and also be financially secure, then I've done my job for Eddie Chambers.
Yeah.
And the only reason that's been done for Eddie Chambers is because of the type of person he is as a person.
Yeah. So
it pays to be genuine, be respectful of people, because sometimes you get it back. You meet people and say, well, hang on a minute, I want to put everything into this kid because he deserves it.
Yeah.
This is the situation, the whole reason why Eddie Chambers is here, because of the person he is.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously the big heavyweight fight domestically of the summer, Tyson versus Derek. In the couple of kind of pre-fight press conferences, you call them, one a few days ago in Manchester, things have got a little bit heated. I remember seeing you after the table flipping incident, and you said, Tyson is his own man. he does what he wants and he's spontaneous and you know, leave him to it. But obviously you don't want to be in a situation whereby something could jeopardise the fight in one of these pre-fight conferences. So if you had to have a word with Tyson and say, you know, try and keep it calm.
No, I spoke to his wife, Paris, of the morning. I spoke to Tyson the day before, and I said, look, do your own thing. I said, but look, I said, please don't get rustling up and down the floor with Derek. You know, I said, because, you know, it's going to reflect on us. I said, you know, you're probably going to get a ban. There's going to be big fines involved.
Yeah.
I said, so let's just forget all that. And, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to this. All fighters has got to gear up and face each other. And there's a lot of animosity there leading up to the fight, because there has to be. You know, they're going to get in there and they're going to try and knock each other out.
Yeah.
So this is the elite thing about boxing. But I can tell you now, Derek Chisora doesn't hate Tyson. Tyson doesn't hate Derek.
Yeah.
Tyson speaks well of Derek.
Yeah.
We speak well of Derek.
Yeah.
So when that fight's over, win, lose, whatever, these guys will have arms around each other. And that's the most important thing. Because look, they have to be, they're professional gladiators in a ring.
Yeah.
They have to be like this. So yeah, there will be animosity and it'll be a fearsome fight because both has got a lot on the line.
Yeah.
But after it, it'll be the best of pals. So it's just what it is, you know. They're in heavy intense training. They're gearing at that one person. So that's it. All their channels are directed there.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not a walk in the park party.
Yeah.
This is pro boxing.
Yeah.
But after it, no problem.
And then just a couple more questions. Appreciate your time today, Peter. With obviously Bermane Stiverne has now finally broken up the monopoly on the heavyweight belts that was possessed by the Klitschkos for so long. Obviously, if and when Tyson prevails at the end of July, is that the route you're thinking to go down?
I'd love for Tyson to fight Bermane Stiverne.
Yeah.
You know, our promotion team, they've got great contacts with Stiverne's people.
Yeah.
You know, so I think both sides would like that fight.
Yeah.
I would certainly like to fight. Tyson would.
Yeah.
So we're up for that fight. I'm up for that fight more than Wladimir. Because I don't see Wladimir taking us. I see us getting put in the waiting room.
Yeah.
So while you're there, come on, stay here. So basically, I would like Tyson to fight Stiverne.
Yeah.
I'd like him to fight him after Chisora. That's my personal opinion.
And stylistically, like I say, you're a boxing scholar. I imagine you've probably watched the fight by now, Stiverne Areola, at some point, or you will be. You'll be planning to. You've seen it already. In terms of your analysis of watching Stiverne against another top 10 heavyweight, how do you think he performed, and did it give you that confidence that I'd fancy this fight all day?
Look, I thought Areola came in well. He came in fit. You know, full credit to Areola. Areola's a good fighter.
Yeah.
But you know, I predicted to a lot of people we're going to have a repeat.
Yeah.
You know, because Stiverne, you know, coming on to Stiverne, he's a very good back foot fighter. You're coming on to him, you're looking for problems. So basically, you know, Areola was tailor-made for Stiverne.
Yeah.
You know, but all fights are different. Styles make fights, so we just look forward and hopefully we can make that fight.
Yeah. And so from what you've seen, you fancy it. Like you say, you fancy that one?
No, 100%. I see Tyson, you know, 6'9", boxing with his brains, untouchable.
And then just like you touched upon there, Wladimir, the kind of accusation has been levelled at him recently that he's now just fighting mandatories that maybe, if we're being honest, aren't really worthy of fighting for the time. I mean, obviously they've got to the mandatory position, but realistically, from an outside perspective, don't really stand a great chance against him. You alluded to there, maybe you think potentially he could swerve that fight or make it awkward to negotiate. But if by some measure you can negotiate the fight, is it something you really fancy?
Yeah, we'd like that fight with Wladimir. They're great champions, aren't they? You know, and he's only going to take people that's in his way. You know, it's not his fault they've become mandatory, and he's fighting them. But you know, it was a big fight for him with Povetkin.
Yes, that was.
You know, that was a big fight. Povetkin, he'd done his thing. He'd had fights. But at the end of the day, he didn't go anywhere because this is what Wladimir can do to an opponent.
Yeah,
they can be not on his level. He deals with it, and when they step up a level, they still look the same.
Yeah.
So he's above his competition, really. So basically, we'd like that fight to happen, but if we could have Stiverne, the winner of that, possibly get the WBC, then it's a mega fight.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the only real heavyweight with a chance out there is the likes of Tyson. You've got Deontay Wilder, and obviously Stiverne's a very good man as well.
Yeah.
So these are the ones that's in the mix. Wilder, full respect to the guy. You've got to respect his power.
Yeah.
But like I said, I have to reserve. No disrespect to the guy whatsoever. I quite like him.
Yeah.
I've seen him box. I like his style. He doesn't mess around. He's come and take your head off. It's exciting.
Yeah,
So heavyweight need. But he hasn't been it yet.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I know as far as Tyson goes, you know, it'd be a very good fight because he's fighting people his own size.
Yeah. And how did you analyse when he fought Povetkin? A lot of people were very critical of the style he employed, very kind of attritional, just smothered him really. I mean, at your disposal, you have another heavyweight who's very tall, massive reach. Would you advocate that style of fighting with Tyson?
Well,
it's quite negative, I mean, I suppose if we're...
I've got to say this. Vladimir exercised the right tactics for Povetkin.
Right.
You've got a tall big man with a little man.
Yeah.
So what is he going to do? Let a little man work inside?
No.
It's going to tie him up.
Yeah.
You've got to do what you've got to do.
But there was, I mean, I suppose, from the fans' perspective, they thought it was... I mean, obviously you're talking that pragmatically from the trainer's perspective. Yeah. But could you see how fans maybe were frustrated with that smothering style? I mean, there was a lot of hugging going on there.
The only thing I will say what Vladimir should have done, he hit him, I think, was a jab turned into a left hook, and he put him over.
Yeah.
You know, he was there for the taking,
Povetkin,
and he could have planted his feet and drilled him for sure. He'd have got Povetkin out of there.
Yeah.
He just carried him for the rest of the way.
Yeah.
In other words, Vladimir, he's too cautious.
Right.
You know, he had him hurt. He'd done his job early on, walked into a big shot. You know, he took a lot out of him. You know, Povetkin was ready to get out of there from the third round on.
Yeah.
He just carried him to the end.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit boring for me because there's only ever going to be one outcome. I thought, why is he standing back off this guy when the guy's already out on his feet? So that's the only criticism I can level. But his tactics, what he needs to do.
Yeah.
You know, good luck to him. He's a world champion, and you know, when you're a world champion, do anything to win. Do anything to keep it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's not about the L. It's about the W. Yeah.
No, thanks a lot for your time today, Peter.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
And I'm glad you like the gym.
Fantastic gym. I really like it.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Peter.